Hello everyone, welcome back to The Budget Sportsman. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today I want to give you a look at my new hunting blind from TideWe. This is a hub style blind, but it has a secret that makes it really cool. Now if you watch my channel much at all, you know that I am primarily a saddle hunter, especially when it comes to archery hunting. I spend most of my time up in a tree, hanging from a tree saddle, and it is my preferred way to hunt. Occasionally, but very rarely, I hunt from a tree stand, and also occasionally, but very rarely, I hunt from the ground. However, I've got two kids now, and as I anticipate introducing them to the sport of hunting in the coming years, I realized that the blind is probably the way to go. In fact, the last 2 years, I've taken my young daughter, she's only 4 now, but I've taken her out just on a couple of short evening hunts, just to kind of spend time with her and get her introduced to hunting. However, the blind I've had previous to this was a pop-up style blind, and it just did not work. I was having to stick my arrow way out the front window and draw, and my elbow would hit the back. It was just too small, and I never really felt like I was actually hunting. I was just spending time with my daughter. But again, as my kids grow, and I actually want to introduce them to hunting, I wanted a blind. So I started looking and researching hub-style blinds and what might be something that would fit for myself and my kids. And I just didn't come across the right thing in my budget. And then I came across the TideWe blind. And I've mentioned before that TideWe actually has asked me to look at and review some of their products. And so when they did that, I said, hey, let me get my hands on one of your blinds. I really want to take a look at it. And so far, I have to say, I am really pleased. Again, full disclaimer, TideWe did send this blind to me. Before we dive into looking at the features of this blind, I do want to mention the price really quickly. It is around $160. However, if you use the coupon code TBS18, that stands for the Budget Sportsman 18, you will get an 18% discount on this blind, bringing it down to right over $130. Is it the cheapest blind on the market? I don't think so, but I don't think you're going to get a blind with this features at a cheaper price point. So let's jump in and take a look. Alright, so I went ahead and jumped inside because I wanted to show you this blind's coolest feature, and that is that it has a see-through panel 270 degrees around the blind. So you can probably see here that all of the windows are closed. I mean, there's a little gap in the window right over there somewhere, but all of the windows are closed, and yet from floor to ceiling, it is a see-through material on 3 of the 4 sides. Now, it does some kind of crazy weird things on camera, but in person, you can just see through. Now, as you could probably see from the outside, and I'll show it to you again later, but you cannot see through from the outside. It is really awesome. All right, so here's the view from the outside. So in spite of me being able to see out in 270 degrees, and I can see all around, I can see the camera right now. It is an amazing view from in here, but you are probably not able to see me at all. So I am really impressed with the view from this blind. Again, I could open this up, and then of course you could probably see me a little bit, but because of the dark background, once I'm up in here, I'm guessing you probably really don't see much of me at all. Now, another feature I wanted to mention about this blind is that the only zipper is on the entry door. All of your shooting windows have these silent sliders. It's like a rod with a little slider on it, and you can just slide it up and down as necessary. You can see I just created a small opening there. Of course, I could slide the top one up, create a bigger opening, and of course I could do the same thing on the other side if I wanted to create a big open shooting window out one of my sides or out the front. But there are no zippers to open any of the windows on these 3 see-through sides. So earlier in the video I mentioned that in my old blind I had a hard time drawing and shooting my bow because it was too small. So I did want to mention the size of this blind because it is a good bit bigger. This blind is 57 inches square on the floor, but where the hubs are, it's actually 72 inches, almost exactly 6 feet at the hubs, which gives you a lot more room up here at the top to draw your bow and have plenty of room. So here I am, I'm gonna go ahead and draw my bow back. Right now my arrow is not out the window at all. It is completely inside, and I can draw, and my elbow back here has probably still another 4 inches or so. I'm a 29-inch draw length, and so I've got plenty of room in here to draw this bow back, and I can maneuver to shoot over here. I can maneuver to shoot over here. There is a lot of room in this blind. I am looking forward to hunting out of it. All right, so on the back of the blind, on the dark panel, you do have a window here. It is held up by these little elastic pieces and toggles. You can open one side and get this kind of diagonal shape, or you can open it all the way and get a rectangular window. And finally, on the back panel here, you do have your entry door. This is kind of a moon-shaped door with a double zipper. You open it up right there, and you can crawl in and out. I have to be honest, you do have to kind of duck and squat your way in here. It's not a huge door, but it is sufficient nonetheless. Now, if there is one negative that I wanted to mention about this blind, it would be the star effect of the ceiling. I don't know what you call it, but you can probably already see it above my head, like over here. There's light coming through the ceiling in many, many places. Over here by these seams, you can probably see it. And if you look up, it just is not a solid black color. I don't know if there's any real issue with it, but for a blind that's $160, I wouldn't expect it to look like that right out of the box. Now, I've seen this same look on other blinds. Again, you can see it all behind me, all these little light holes coming from different seams and just kind of like a faded look to it all. I've seen this on other blinds in similar price points, so maybe it's nothing to be concerned about or not normal, but I was really hoping to not see that kind of a look on a blind. It makes me feel like it may not be real water resistant or hold up to the weather real well, or it makes me feel like eventually maybe some of these spots are going to start pulling apart and tear. It may not be an issue, I don't know. This is pretty much a brand new blind. Haven't used it enough to tell how it's going to hold up. All right guys, so there it is, my initial review of the TideWe hunting blind. I am really excited to put this blind to the test this fall, get out there with my kids, get out there with my family, and enjoy hunting. Personally, I think those see-through walls are a game changer. I'm super excited to put them to test this fall. Now listen, I know that TideWe's not the only brand to have see-through walls in a blind. However, most of the blinds that do offer that are incredibly expensive. So I think you're gonna find a pretty good value here for what you're getting. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of the video and the blind down in the comments. And until next time, remember to get off YouTube and get outdoors into God's great creation.